The Drop stars Tom Hardy, James Gandolfini, and Noomi Rapace, and what this film is about is a drop bar. It's a bar in which various criminals can drop their money and kind of conceal it and hide it from the authorities, and Tom Hardy and James Gandolfini run this establishment, and when that establishment is robbed, and some of that money is then lost, a whole bunch of dominoes fall over up a ladder in which one guy doesn't have his money anymore, and that's not a good thing. I was interested in this movie for a number of reasons. For one, I thought it looked really good. I love Tom Hardy. I think he's one of the best actors working today. I also really like Noomi Rapace, and James Gandolfini unfortunately passed away, and this is his last role, which really sucks because he is fantastic in this movie. And as I watched this movie, I kept thinking to myself, what a freaking tragedy. This guy is a genius actor, and he is so good in this movie. I mean, there is just so much you can read on his face, and he does such a great job of portraying this character who has a past and certain things are broken up about him, and you really feel it in his portrayal, and he is just excellent in this movie, as is Tom Hardy, who gives an incredibly understated performance in this movie. His performance in this movie is so restrained that once you realize where his character is going, you realize how brilliant it is. This guy is a freaking amazing actor, and he is so good in this film. His character has this seething, boiling rage that he never lets overflow, and when it does overflow, this movie went to another level. I really enjoyed The Drop. It was a very, very good movie. It has a few problems that I'll talk about later, but this movie just looked so good. Bright, vibrant colors, really nice cinematography, excellent performances, and a very special script. And I say special because this is one of those movies where it just sort of shows people talking, and it's not always necessarily about the plot. It's just building character, making people look more like human beings. And The Drop takes its time with its characters, and that's something I really liked about this movie. Noomi Rapace is also really great in this movie as a girl who kind of helps Tom Hardy take care of a dog that he finds in a trash can. It was a very sweet relationship. I thought they had great chemistry with one another, and she was terrific in the movie as well. But that script, written by Dennis Lehane, who wrote the books like For Shutter Island and Mystic River, he does a really good job with this movie. He also wrote the book, and he wrote the script too. It does take a little while. It's a little bit too long to set up the main plot. It would have been nice if there was a little more energy in this movie for the first act or so. The second and third act really started to pick up, but towards the beginning it took a while for it to get started. And there are also scenes in the film that feel very unnecessary, like they should just not really be there. For instance, there's a scene where a pretty bad guy sneaks into Noomi Rapace's house, and he surprises her. That's scary, right? But they show him sneak into her house, and okay, so I get it. They're setting up that scene. But then they just show him eating a sandwich for like 30 seconds. He's just sitting there eating a sandwich, and I'm like, why is this necessary? I don't understand. I understand they're kind of building up that guy's creep factor, but it would have been more frightening if we didn't know he was in the house and she was startled by him, I guess. But at the same time, that's also a bit cliched, so I can understand why they were trying to do different things with it. Because there are times in this movie where there are similar mobster-like elements that you've seen in other films, but the execution makes it seem different, and that's one of the things I really liked about The Drop. It looks good, it has great performances, the script is really good. It's just a little bit slow to get started, but once it does and Tom Hardy really explodes, I was really impressed with The Drop, and I'm going to give it a B+. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you check out the movie and let me know what you thought below, and as always, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.